This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Oh, we are off and running. Happy Monday, everybody. I am locked in, ready to go. It is my favorite time of the year, one of my favorite times of the year, March Madness. We are so locked in, ready to go. Welcome to Midnight Run here on this late Monday night, officially early Tuesday morning. It is now 12:02 AA. Anthony Alford here with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night right here on the Inside Edge Network. A lot of great stuff going on here, and I just want to send a quick note before we get into all of our stuff. We got a packed show here with you until 1. I just want to thank all of you for tuning in, not only to Midnight Run, but all of our shows, either in full or in highlight form through our socials. If you've noticed over the last couple of days, we have added some sponsors, and those sponsors have said yes to us. And this network was an idea. If you've been with us since September, you know, some of you, most of you have joined us along the ride. We started this thing back in September, to start the NFL football season, and it was just a pipe dream that our guy Peter Tulloch, he's the operations manager at all this. He appointed me as the PD. We assembled a whole team, and all the faces, all the voices you hear on this network. I trust my team a ton, and they have put together long hours and stuff. And they're enjoying this. I hope they're enjoying this. It's fun, but this is also business. And obviously, one of my dreams, coming from the radio world, because I've been seeing reports, and I did not tell Eli this was going to be in the rundown, so we're going to tab it off script here. But if you don't know a little bit of my story, being here from Cleveland, my background, I spent time, at WTAM. I spent quality time at 92.3 The Fan. And I've worked with a ton of great people. And I'm here to tell you, sports, local radio is not dead. Far from it. Continue to support local radio. But the way that we consume media is changing and has changed. And it was always one of my dreams to be in the forefront of that change and to continue to provide great content and start something really from scratch. Like literally, this idea of the Inside Edge Network was started from scratch. Like, this was not an idea back on March 17th, 2015, or March 17th, 2025. This was not an idea. So to build an entire network from the ground up and to grow from this and to have as many followers and subscribers and everyone tuning in, liking, subscribing, supporting our stuff. And please continue to do so each and every single day. Like and subscribe, comment on our stuff. Please continue to do that, because you have a lot of hardworking people working hard in front of the camera and behind the cameras to bring you phenomenal digital content from right here in Cleveland. And that's where we're based. We are based here in Cleveland. And we want to continue. And I'm not going to say never. Things happen. But I personally don't believe in putting things behind a paywall. I just don't. And again, it's business. Never say never. It could be a day where it happens. But I prefer not to do that. I prefer to have content provided to all of you free of charge, access, and anybody to see. But in order for that to happen, we have to have community engagement and partners with us that will help us out with that. And your biggest way of supporting us is support through our partners that we have locked in so we can maintain this free platform that all of our hosts and personalities and producers, every one of us is putting together. So you will start hearing and seeing starting now, or actually starting yesterday, new partners hopping on. And it's a lot of great stuff. And I know it can get annoying sometimes talking about sponsors. I get it. I understand that. But, like business is business, so it's something that we have to do. But also, we're not just supporting anybody. We're not just hopping on with anyone. If the quality's not good, we don't hop on. We don't sign on. We don't do that. So we support companies that have good content, good quality, and things like that. So we'll get into all the stuff, but I bring all that up because one of our new sponsors here on the Inside Edge Network, there's a QR code. I believe I'm pointing at the correct direction. Thank you, Eli. That QR code will take you to fanatics.com. And it's hard to believe, but Fanatics is one of our partners right there. They have everything, officially licensed everything. NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA. If you're a wrestling fan, they got that. You see there, Jose Ramirez, Myles Garrett, of course, the NCAA tournament, Donovan Mitchell, the different jerseys and things like that. So, and of course, a ton of stuff. So definitely check them out, fanatics.com. They have you covered. Again, that QR code right on the corner of your screen. So, all right, enough of that. Please support us. That's what I got for you there. All right, let's start with the Cavs. Cavaliers, I know they took an ugly loss on Sunday. They did beat Dallas. They destroyed Dallas Friday night, but Sunday was pretty ugly. But the one encouraging thing about Sunday was Max Strus. And the thing that I wanted to bring up here to start our show, it was kind of an offhanded comment that we talked about on Main Event yesterday. Myself, Eli Moon, Rob Rosicki. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the last several NBA finals and the last several NBA playoffs. And when the wheels got turning, it was a bit offhand, but we were talking a little bit about Steph Curry. Steph Curry did not play on Sunday. He's still injured. But Steph Curry is going to be credited for completely changing the way that NBA basketball is played. Instead of dominating in the paint and, the old guard of Shaq and, the big men, Dwight Howard and everyone being inside of the paint, you got guys like Steph Curry constantly hitting threes. I think I made a joke because that's what it was. Rob brought up, NBA 2K and you could play different decades and stuff like that. And I joked and said, man, give me the 2003 Dallas Mavericks. They had Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash on the same team. But that 03 team would have legitimately won titles if this was in this current era's basketball. But they just didn't have the defense to compete with the San Antonio Spurs. But it was just a different time period. Before the Golden State Warriors of, I guess now yesteryear, because everyone is hurt. But before the dynasty era Golden State Warriors, you had the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, and Cleveland fans kind of hate where I'm going with this, but you'll understand. You do remember the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. The 2009 Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavaliers were essentially supposed to dominate. That was the year we were supposed to get LeBron versus Kobe. We were this close to getting LeBron versus Kobe in the NBA Finals. And Orlando came to town and demolished us. And we didn't know how to react to, do we defend Dwight Howard or do we defend the perimeter? Of course, the way we answered was, let's do neither. And we got smoked. If it wasn't for LeBron James, his circus turnaround jumper, we would have lost that series in 5, or we would have been swept. That would have been it. I bring that up, and I bring up now the 3-point shooting and all that, because in today's NBA, what Max Strus did on Sunday and having his presence from downtown, that actually helps. That actually helps, because I had to go back and check some stats, because my main question and my main concern, we could spend all day talking about the defense. The defense is my number one concern with the Cavaliers. But my number 2 concern with the Cavaliers come playoff time, do you trust them to consistently hit 3-pointers in the playoffs? So here's the skinny. Right now, the Cavaliers are 7th in 3-point makes this season. They're number 7. Let me give you the teams that's ahead of the Cavaliers in that ranking. Number 1, Golden State, then Charlotte, Boston, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Chicago, Cleveland. And then right underneath them, New York, Atlanta, Portland. But I'm looking at the top 3 of those teams. Golden State, we'll see what happens with Golden State. They have other issues, but Golden State is the gold standard of downtown shooting with Curry. The Charlotte Hornets, they've been on fire lately, coming out of nowhere. They've been on fire, and Charlotte was hitting threes against us not too long ago, it was a few weeks back. And then, of course, the Celtics. They're number 3, hitting 3-pointers consistently there. And there are a few other top quality teams not mentioned, but you know that if they need to hit from downtown, they can. Oklahoma City, Wemby with San Antonio, you know that they can deliver from downtown. Who's our go-to for the Cavaliers when it comes to we need knockdown 3-point shooters? Who's our go-to in the playoffs where one of our superstar players, no disrespect to Sam Merrill, no disrespect, Sam Merrill, this is no knock against him, but you can't just turn to the important role players. You need your star players. No disrespect in the past to Ty Jerome. That was kind of the same issue. You need your star players to deliver from downtown. Who can I consistently trust to deliver from downtown in the playoffs when things are getting tough? Because if you're looking, and I pointed out some stats here, and let me pull it up real quick. I pulled up a USA Today article from the finals from last year, or historically. And this is the skinny. This is from USA Today. Of the past, and this was written before last year's NBA Finals, but you can include OKC in this from last year. So of the past 16 NBA champions, 14 were either in the top 10 in threes made per game or top 10 in 3-point percentage. 9 of them were in the top 10 in both categories during the regular season, including the 2024 Boston Celtics. That team was number 1 in 3-point makes and number 2 in 3-point percentage. And in that 2024 NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics outscored the Dallas Mavericks 210 to 144 on 3-pointers. That series was played in 5 games. 210 to 144. 5 games. How many times do you see teams, and I haven't seen this enough from the Cavaliers this year, but how many times, you get a little bit of it, but not fully, do you see teams erase a 20-point deficit with ease? All of a sudden, boom, they're hitting three-pointers, they're connecting three-pointers. And to Eli's point, talks about, he's been talking on this network about the importance of Jared Allen. You do need your bigs, you do. But how many times do you see the bigs being utilized, and then you kick out, and you could trust somebody from the outside to hit a three? Max Strus in that Dallas game was fantastic. Well, he had, 16 points in the first half? I mean, he was great. I know the game was out of hand, but he did really well. Eli, let me know. I forgot to write it down. His Max Strus point total from Sunday's game. But he was great. Can Max Strus do that every single night in the playoffs? James Harden. This is why James Harden was traded here to Cleveland. The number one reason why James Harden was traded here to Cleveland. That's what I thought. Thank you. 24 points, 6 of 7 from 3. Thank you, Eli. That was Max Strus on Sunday. James Harden was brought in from the Clippers to spread the floor. You cannot spread the floor if you're not consistently making shots from downtown. That's why he was brought in. You got to have those threats. Isaac Okoro, for example, Isaac Okoro was a phenomenal defender. Unfortunately, you could leave him out wide open in the paint. You never had to defend him because he couldn't hit a shot to save us. You know what? Who are your cold-blooded scorers in the playoffs? I could rely on Donovan Mitchell, but you might need Donovan Mitchell to drive to the basket. You might need Donovan Mitchell to hit a mid-range jumper. You might need Donovan Mitchell to crash the paint. And then occasionally he could step out of the perimeter and shoot threes, but you need him everywhere else. Where can Donovan Mitchell throw the basketball to? Who can he throw the ball to? That's what makes it tricky. That's what makes it very tricky. I wish I could. Listen, I love what I've seen from James Harden from a playmaking standpoint, especially if Jared Allen's in the game. I need a lot more mid-range and outside shooting from James Harden. I need to see that Max Strus that we saw, 24 points. I need that almost every night. I need our perimeter shooters, and that's where, when those guys are scoring, that's when Sam Merrill can then kill you. Unalive you. Sorry, YouTube. Unalive you from that standpoint. But your leaders have to be the one to deliver. I can't go into the playoffs and say, man, can Dean Wade hit a shot? If we're depending on Dean Wade to hit shots for us to have a chance to win ball games, I got news for you. Just pack up and go home. That's, again, not a shot at the role players, but the superstar players from downtown need to show up. Because all those teams, all those NBA champions, for the last 15 to 16 years, going all the way back to the 2011 Dallas Mavericks, each one of those teams had superstar starters, superstar players deliver from downtown. And the Cavs are 7th right now. But if you don't have shooters you can trust on a night in, night out basis, Eli, I don't know if it can happen. Let me bring in Eli real quick. Eli's the golden child. He's my producer. He is the co-host of Inside Edge Prime Time. And Eli, when I watch the Cavaliers, I know there are nights where things can get ugly, especially on Sunday afternoons. Sunday afternoons, you might as well you might as well go to church twice instead of watching them play. But I'm watching these guys, and I'm like, all right, this is a great team. You feel good about them, but it almost feels like at times that they go into a gunfight with a knife. And we put ourselves at a disadvantage. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, I do agree, Double A. And then, also with the lack of defense and shooting threes, and usually when there's no follow-up rebounding or, tracking down the ball, that usually leads to a lot of outlet passes that turn to quick scores the other way. And then you look at the Cavs down 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 points real quick. And that's where it gets out of hand. And then when the three-point shot isn't falling and, you don't have Max Strus most of the year. So, luckily we can see what that looks like. 6 of 7 from 3 is amazing. But yes, to your point, you can't rely on Sam Merrill, Dean Wade, and Max Strus to necessarily knock down all these shots. You're going to need James Harden, Donovan Mitchell to really lead the charge here, and that's what it was. Here's the reality of the situation. If Darius Garland was here, we'd be saying it's Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland that have to lead the way. So why are we not going to hold the same expectation for James Harden, who's been to a finals, is regarded as a top 10 player most of his career in the NBA and in the league. I'm not saying all time, but at least in the league. And a guy that you would think gives you a better chance of winning an NBA championship right now than Darius Garland.
Yeah, he has to be a threat. He just does. He has to be considered an outside threat and a perimeter threat. And right now, that's not consistently happening. Again, this is not. We're not talking about, the Cavaliers are good. The Cavaliers are a great team. Cavaliers are a great team Monday through Saturday. They're terrible on Sundays. But Monday through Saturday, they're a great team. Monday through Saturdays, you could trust them to win basketball games. Sundays, let me see here. If we go to the playoff schedule, yeah, we're going to open up on a Saturday afternoon probably. Maybe. But like a game 4 of a first round series will be on a Sunday afternoon. A game 2 of a second round series will be on a Sunday afternoon. Can you win those? Can you have the shooting just in case you come out sluggish on the defensive side? Who knows? That has to improve. If not, things aren't going to end well. Meanwhile, things will end well if you get BA Sweeties. BA Sweeties, let me tell you that the candy, the treats, all that stuff you get at BA Sweeties, it is phenomenal. It's the largest candy store in North America. It smells great too. The fact that it's the largest candy store and the entire store still smells good is incredible. It's a lot of great stuff. Got a bunch of popcorns, traditional treats, and also classic treats and unique specialty treats as well. What's cool about BA Sweeties, not only is it a store, it's also a manufacturer. So you see some of the stuff at other stores, but get it all here at BA Sweeties. And here is a cool deal. When you go to BA Sweeties, say you grab this, you grab that, you grab whatever, and then hey, your kids are like, hey, I want that. So you grab that or whatever. If, you grab all your stuff, if your total is $40 or more, mention the code word lollipop. Mention lollipop at the checkout. And if you mention lollipop, you get $5 off your order. They will take $5 off of your order. This is anything. If your cart is $40 or up, they'll take $5 off if you mention the word lollipop. I'm telling you right now, Easter is coming right up. Family gatherings is right there. So you got to get all your treats, get it all set, ready to go. But before Easter, I'm getting my popcorn for March Madness because it's right around the corner. And Ohio State may have an opportunity to beat TCU, and they might take down Duke. I actually have evidence from somebody who says they might take down Duke. We'll play that coming up in just a little bit. Plus, I'm back in on the World Baseball Class. Oh, but real quick, BA Sweeties, Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit, make a left on Brook Park Road, and you'll see a giant lollipop. It is right there in Cleveland, Ohio. BA Sweeties. More information, go to sweeties.com. We'll talk March Madness in the World Baseball Classic. Great game last night of the WBC. Am I back in? We'll talk about all that coming up on and yes, I'm a pro wrestling guy. There's some significant stuff that has happened in pro wrestling that I won't have an opportunity to talk about until the Side Hustle podcast later in the week. I got to give you something. I got to give you a little bit of commentary. I got to talk something. We got 09 Randy Orton. Oh, we're going to talk about that coming up. We're late. We'll be back. Midnight Run, Inside Edge Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Welcome back to the show. I have to read this comment from Cool Dude 67. Hi, my mom says she likes you as a YouTuber. Well, thank you for the kind words. Oh man, speaking of which, you should get your mom some candles from Allie Rose, AllieRoseFragrances.com. You gotta get her some candles. A lot of cool stuff there. And a body mist as well. Here's the cool thing. Here's the skinny. AllieRoseFragrances.com. Here is the skinny. Listen. You can't have a stank ass home. Okay? You just can't. All right? You can't. You can't. Your home has to smell good. It has to smell phenomenal. Allie Rose Fragrances will do that. We'll get the job done with that. And it's natural ingredients with the candles as well. So a lot of the competition, you get the candle and it doesn't burn. It barely burns any of the wax. This one's evenly balanced, a flat top. So you're getting the entirety of the candle, and it's all natural flavor or all natural ingredients. So your home's going to smell fresh. And don't forget, in my read, it says here the spring promotion. And there is a spring promotion, but I know a good chunk of the East Coast has been hit with winter storms. So maybe the Christmas candles doesn't sound too bad either at this very moment. But definitely AllieRoseFragrances.com, AllieRoseFragrances.com. And when you order for first-time customers, so if you're ordering for your mom or whoever it may be, loved one, whoever, side piece, it's midnight, it's 12:30, you probably have a side piece. You at least get her some dang candles or maybe a body mist. Get something. And then use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's for first-time customers only. InsideEdge20. AllieRoseFragrances.com. They're great. My friend Allison, she makes them herself, personally handcrafted. So does great work with that. AllieRoseFragrances.com. Again, first-time customers, use the promo code InsideEdge20. I'm back in on the World Baseball Classic. I'm back in. Okay. I'm back in. I might have had, dare I say, maybe one of the dumbest takes in Inside Edge Network history when I said I was out. And when I said that, listen, Eli, come on the screen. I have an apology. Mr. Moon, Golden Child. Some might call him the Golden Child. Great album, by the way.
Thank you.
I'd like to apologize to you for the ignorance that I expressed to you and Mr. Robert Zicki on the main event yesterday towards the World Baseball Classic, the WBC. It was dumb of me to not have truly invested in this tournament and invested in these lineups, in these games. Dude, we're doing a show last night. That game last night, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible, Double A. I mean, and Paul Skeens, a tremendous performance. The Dominican Republic lineup, just an absolute great lineup. Juan Soto thinks they're the best baseball team, ? Ever. But, I mean, we talked about that on Primetime a little bit. That's kind of crazy. But I just, regardless, a bunch of fun stories. Team Italy, I mean, obviously they didn't get it done tonight against Venezuela, but a fun team nonetheless. Venezuela, a fun team in the finals. They knocked off the defending champs, Japan, and now they can go try to beat USA, and USA might fall twice in the finals in the last two World Baseball Classics. I mean, a lot of, what do they call it in wrestling, Double A? I've said this twice tonight. This will be the second time. Cinema.
Yeah. And I didn't realize, every team, there's a draw, even if you're just like a Cleveland Guardians fan, I didn't know Bo Naylor, Team Canada. I'm just scrolling through, Bo Naylor is a Team Canada.
Yeah.
He's like, that's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I mean, Ryan Rocchio, getting an opportunity, I believe, getting a chance with Team Italy. Just different things, man. I mean, just so cool, Double A. I mean, and I'm excited for baseball. And this is our last chance, possibly before the lockout, to enjoy some baseball. So at least we get some extra baseball with the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, thank you, Eli. The baseball season is going to be fun. Now, listen. I still have beef with Major League Baseball in the marketing. I still stand behind that. But sometimes, even when you hate the people that's running things, if you miss out on certain things, that's your fault. That's it. That's the end of the story. That's you miss the good parts of the story, the games, the action, the activity, the journey. That's there. So if you are locked in as a baseball fan, you know the rosters and things like that. And my disinterest was misguided. The players that are participating in the World Baseball Classic, they are playing hard. They are locked in. And listen, would you rather be talking about the World Baseball Classic or week number 5 of spring training baseball? I mean, we actually had a segment idea of Guardian spring training updates. We haven't done it since the first week. So there's there's that. I mean, it's just I do have a question, though. And this is not just a baseball question. I still think the preseason in the NFL is too long. I still think spring training is way too long. Why in the hell is spring training 7 weeks long? Well, to me, that makes no sense. Oh, we got to get that trip into Arizona's great for 2 weeks. You don't need to be there for a month. Okay, get your work in, but I know the NFL preseason used to be 4 weeks, which is way too long. Now it's 3 weeks. You can cut it down to 2. You cut it down. Okay. A lot of your activity, at least with football, is already taking place with, with the scrimmages. The stuff's already happening. And yeah, you're getting your work in, but listen, I don't think fans would hate the idea if you cut down on spring training by a couple of weeks, I think you'll be okay. Again, you don't need a month and a half of spring training. You just don't. Let's go. Let's go. It's March 17th. We don't start the season until a week from Thursday, March 26th. Let's go. Let's go. Man, my goodness. All right. There is a believer in Ohio State in March Madness. We have this clip from CBS Sports. Wally Zerviak, potentially a believer of the question was, who was the biggest threat for Duke in the East region? And here's what Wally had to say.
I'm going to go one round earlier. Ohio State, they're playing really good basketball. Like for most of the season, they were in a lot of those quad one games that they needed to kind of get, like hanging around at Michigan, end up losing by 9, 10. And then all of a sudden, the last week of the season, when their backs were against the wall, they played their best basketball. And this team has started to kind of find it. They lost in the Big Ten tournament to Michigan by only 4 points. The big key is Devin Royal is starting to play.
There we go.
He plays well. They have good guard play with Mobley and Thornton, obviously. So they're a team that early on, if they catch Duke a little bit wounded, that could maybe pull off a shocking upset.
Man, even the Spectrum Wi-Fi couldn't believe that take from Wally on that. I don't know if it played it full or not, but yeah, Ohio State could do. You remember that little speech I gave? Like, man, how come Ohio State basketball can't get the job done? They're getting beat by every top team. You know, they beat bad teams and they lose to good teams. Any ranked team Ohio State was losing to. And then they turned around and beat Purdue on a Sunday. See, Ohio State can show you how to win on a Sunday afternoon. Take notes, Cavaliers. Cleveland. I don't care about Virginia. Although Virginia should take – never mind. I can't even bag on Virginia because even though they lost to a 16 seed, they turned around the following season and won the national championship. That's how you redeem yourself. That's how you redeem yourself. Ohio State, they are coming along. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm a college basketball expert. I thought Eli and Chad made a great point on primetime today. Like, I don't like general fans used to be a little bit more tapped in to weekly college basketball. And now it's a bit tougher for that to be the case. But that's okay. Ohio State went from a team I thought when we brought them up a month ago, this team won't even make the tournament. If they do, they're a first 4 team at best. They won some critical games. They held on against Iowa in the Big Ten tournament. They almost upset Michigan in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament. Ohio State played really well against Michigan in that Big Ten tournament quarterfinal. They made a couple of crucial mistakes, but they did play really well. But here's the thing. And here's something to watch. And I do think, because Wally said it, I'll take his word for it, that Ohio State is a sleeper. I guess for me, something we got to think about, what would be a successful tournament run for Ohio State? That you can look back and say, this Buckeyes team is really on the up and up. Do you just say, just making the tournament? That would be fair to say. I mean, first tournament appearance in 4 years. That's fair. But obviously you're going to want more, right? That won't cut the mustard if you get blown out by TCU. So if Ohio State can at least beat TCU Thursday afternoon at noon, boy, Ohio State at big noon. Can't run away from each other. At least if you beat them Thursday afternoon and you're facing Duke on Saturday, if you're competing against Duke, you're on to something. You beat Duke and Ohio State's in the Sweet 16, that's their Super Bowl. Ohio State beating Duke in the second round, qualifying for the Sweet 16, That is their Super Bowl. It's just amazing. And then when Ohio State does beat them, one of these days, I'm going to go to sportsmemorabilia.com. Boy, I can't even talk anymore. And I'm going to get one of their jerseys, one of their signed jerseys. But maybe they can do it. I do have another point to make on the other side of this break, though, about March Madness. Because NIL in the last couple of years has completely changed the way we look at March Madness. It really has. So we got to address that coming up here on the other side of this break. But I do want to mention, actually, Chad will mention for us, there is a website that you can go to where you can get signed stuff, classic sports merchandise. Maybe if you wanted Kobe Bryant's 81-point jersey signed by Kobe, you just have to go to this website as we go to break.
Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at mossermomentsphotography.com.
Man, listen. Go check out that website. The photos there are phenomenal. They're great. Now I'm gonna load in something. I'm doing this live here. I know this is very unprofessional, but I'm gonna load in a clip from Jay Williams. It's not the clip I wanted from this year, but it's a clip that he had from last year that I think still holds true. And we'll play it for you when it's ready to go. I'm doing two things at once here. Give me 2 seconds here. Gotta love live podcasting here. Give me a sec here. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, they're not giving me the right video. Anywho, I gotta love technology.
It's all right, Double A. While you're working on that, I'm going to give you a second here. I'm going to remind the folks here about our friends at W Energy, which we haven't got a chance to talk about. Of course, we haven't got a chance. I'm going to go ahead and put Double A on mute here for a second, let him figure that out. He'll give me a cue. But I want to remind everybody out there for W Energy, one of the newest sponsors of the Inside Edge Network. We have a great code. It's Inside Edge 10 is the code. If you go ahead and use that code Inside Edge 10, you get 10% off your orders. Jitterless Feel Good Energy Blend. Jitterless Energy Blend, zero sugar. It's a great option for you. If you're loving energy drinks and you're looking for no crash, then you got to go with W Energy. 15 different flavors, a lot of great options here. I'll show you a few of these here. Obviously, we have Dragonade. We have Push and Punch. And, Dub Sludge. My goodness gracious. Maybe Dub Sludge for Double A. I don't know. We'll see if he's ready to go here in just a second here. But, again, W Energy. 10% off with the code Inside Edge 10. And again, back here with Midnight Run, Anthony Alford.
You know what was bothering me? So I was trying to load in a clip, and it kept using the URL code from like a previous clip, and I didn't even realize. I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? So we're gonna get a clip loaded. So here's the skinny. March Madness, and you will need W Energy for 4 days of March Madness. Listen. It's some of y'all still got to work too. Some of you, we don't have the fortune at times to put in a PTO day or things like that. So you'll be filling out your bracket and you're trying to go. But NIL, things have changed. You can't evaluate Cinderella's the same. You just can't. And I think a lot of it is because of NIL. It's the reason why maybe a 16 could be the one. We talked the other day about UMass beating Miami, coming in strong and beating Miami. Who on UMass has that NIL? It is so tough to evaluate college basketball, much tougher than it used to be. This is the clip I was trying to get in. We got it now. Jay Williams from ESPN Get Up. I know it was from a year ago, so disregard the matchup at the bottom, but the point still stands. Take a look.
Well, number one, I think Derek Queen is probably one of the most underrated players in the country that nobody talks about, and he's going to be a lottery pick. Think about that. That's shocking, right? And plays for Maryland. I think my biggest takeaway, Greeny, of everything over the weekend was that NIL is the death of mid-major Cinderella runs. And I think it still can happen, but I think it's going to be more of a rarity, Greeny.
Because?
Well, there's going to be more of a rarity due to the fact that I think now we're going to see a lot of players that are playing for the Colorado States, that are playing for the McNeeses, that are playing for the Drakes, that are going to get poached by mid-level Power 4, Power 5 conferences, right? And you're going to see teams in the middle of the pack of the Big 10, the middle of the pack of the Big 12, see these players and say, hey, we'll give you 4X, we'll give you 5X what you're earning at your mid-major conference. And when I talk to mid-major coaches, the consistent complaint I always hear from them is retention. We can't hold on to players because these Power 4 schools are just clipping them and taking them away from us. And that's why I think you're seeing chalk as much as you're seeing right now as we get to the Sweet 16. You're not seeing any mid-major left. You're going to see the big boys, and I think that's going to be the case moving forward.
So that's, and again, courtesy of ESPN, that's Jay Williams. This is that was from last year. So again, disregard the bottom third there. But it's interesting. And the stat that we pointed out over the last couple of days that we've heard from those who watch college basketball day in and day out, the weakest bubble since they've one of the weakest bubbles in tournament history. If we had a stronger bubble, Miami of Ohio would have not made it with their loss to UMass. Fair or unfair, because they were the last team that qualified. So, NIL, if there is a star player playing for ITT Tech or whomever, in the old days, they would be, fifth-year seniors, and you have a full senior lineup, and you just lose a team to graduation, or in a beautiful sense, they're juniors or regular seniors, and you go from there. These bigger schools, these universities, are signing them away through NIL. And now you're seeing more of a split. And I kind of forgot about how last year's tournament went down, but last year's tournament was pretty much all chalk through those initial rounds. There weren't that many upsets. We weren't talking the days of, think of your great Cinderella teams over the last 20 years. George Mason comes to mind. VCU, like Shaka Smart. Shaka Smart is still employed at Marquette over his Cinderella run at VCU back in the early 2010s. He has not had any lick of success at Marquette. But some of these other schools that are considered Cinderellas, now it's mostly chalk. Are you going to get one of these Cinderella? And here's the thing. I'm not talking about the 11s beating a 6, those kind of things. But I'm talking about those teams going deep. And you're even hearing from college basketball experts, if you look at the Vegas line, there's a bigger margin, score margins of 5s over 12s, and 6s over 11s, and 7 over 10s, or 4 over 13s that we've ever seen before. So are we going to get the concept of a Cinderella? Actually, would you consider, here's a question to think about overnight. This is kind of unhinged. Do you consider Miami of Ohio to be a Cinderella team? Ugh, that's dirty. That's kind of dirty. They were undefeated regular season, but they're in the first 4. They're from the Mid-American Conference. They might be considered one of those schools that a certain politician wants to combine and consolidate. See those videos going around. We might talk about that tomorrow. One of our guys running for the governor of Ohio, who's been in the national scene, caught on video, allegedly, I got to see if the context is fully true. Allegedly, he said, Ramasamy, whatever. He was like, we need to combine some of the universities here in Ohio. So I'm like, okay. Yeah. Anywho, we're going to have to see. My answer is no. I don't think because of NIL, I just think the top level schools are just too good, too powerful, too much firepower to not move forward in the tournament. Now, hopefully, we're wrong, and hopefully all hell breaks loose in the tournament, but you never know. Also, tomorrow, right before Inside Edge Prime Time, Charles Barkley, Dick Vitale working a game together for the first 4. We'll check out some of those clips. Okay. before we end the show, I usually reserve the wrestling stuff to the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast, and you will get my full reaction there every Friday morning. Of course, Kyle Cornell on the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast YouTube page. He does the Raw reactions. I do the NXT reactions, which I'm happy to do. But because I do the NXT reactions, I don't get a chance to talk about the main roster stuff at all until the podcast. And typically, we keep this show to the main professional sports. But we got vintage Randy Orton. Vintage Randy Orton. You know, the Randy Orton that used to watch Adult Swim. I mean, the Randy Orton, the buzz cut, all that stuff. This was up here with Randy Orton. You know what was crazy? I went to the barbershop the next day. They watch the Inside Edge Network. They watch our stuff, and they watch the Side Hustle podcast, and they're aware of the stuff that's seemingly. This is the cool thing about it. It's like, oh, people don't know that. Like, seemingly everybody watched SmackDown, and we picked the right episode. The story is going the right way. The key is, yes, us grown men, we might be excited, but if done right, there's a reason why we hated vintage Randy Orton. Like, there's a real reason why we hated vintage Randy Orton. Evil SOB. But there's a bigger story in play here. And yes, the children were crying. So that from that standpoint, there is a win. Cody Rhodes is terrible at judging character. Terrible. Garbage. 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Trusted somebody he wasn't supposed to trust. And he got kicked in the nuts every single time. Matter of fact, you had people who wanted to beat up Cody Rhodes so bad, they ended the scene and they still beat him up. The director said cut, and The Rock said F that. F that. And then the next year, John Cena threw out hustle loyalty. John Cena threw out everything he stood for because he hated Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton, I know we got to go. Last point. Randy Orton, family man. He was cool. Turned because of this son of a bitch. That's where you're at. Cody, it's time for you to look yourself in the mirror. It's time. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are all these good people turning against you? You know, if we were still doing Dear Diary, that would have been what I wrote down. We're done. Show's over. It's 1:01. 1 o'clock actually on the dot. And that's it. Again, that code over on the corner. We have so much new stuff. That code in the corner, fanatics.com. A lot of great stuff. Actually, there is something wrestling related. You can get Randy Orton gear right now. You go to that QR code and celebrate that heel turn. A lot of great stuff. Boy, if I go for another 5 minutes, I'm going to be unhinged because I won't know what words are coming out of my mouth. The hell am I doing? We're back tomorrow. For Eli, for our entire team. Don't let Anthony Alford signing off. But thank you all for watching. I'm going to enjoy my off day. I haven't done it. I'm not off because of St. Patrick's Day. I'm off because I have a business appointment. So you will see my jacked up teeth tomorrow. And at midnight, and we're going to keep running on the midnight run. I'm going to bed because I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. In fact, Eli, just cut this feed off. We're done.